Hey there, everyone. Danny with a pre-show note. When we talk about how Relient K spells the word Claus in this episode, they only spelled it with an E in the original Deck the Halls, Bruise Your Hands, but it's spelled the way Claus is supposed to be spelled in the more popular CD, whatever that's called, Reindeer.
What, Snow Baby Like a Reindeer?
That's it. Thank you, Jessica. On with the show!
Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho. Jessica, how
Santa.
are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Merry Christmas yet again. Oh, I see you're going to be ready to record your podcast.
Yes, yeah.
Danny must be in the bathroom. I always miss him every year.
I know, it's crazy.
Well, I hope you've been good this year. And thank you for that helping me with that Tim Allen stuff last year.
Of course.
He's going to rot in prison. I
Where
press
he
charges.
belongs. Oh, good.
Yep.
Good.
So, Merry Christmas to you. Oh, you own masks?
Yeah. Yes?
Oh, you're one of those, huh?
Oh.
You're gonna let people just trample all over your civil liberties?
Oh, wow.
Very much to his disliking, Santa spent all night hitchhiking with a sign that reads, "Ho ho, slow down, Santa Claus is coming to town."
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sadie Hawkins Pod.
I miss Santa again.
I know.
And Jessica was just telling me he's a COVID truther? Oh boy.
Yeah, there was a lot to unpack there.
How did he get in the house?
I don't know the way Santa always gets in.
Did he hitchhike here? Because this week we're talking about Santa Claus is coming to
what
town.
A seamless transition.
Seamless. I'm a little thrown off because we're sitting on opposite sides of the table tonight.
Yeah.
I've got the lovely view of the Christmas tree.
You do.
And you've got a lovely view of the trash cans. So Merry Christmas to everyone. This is our...
Babe, I'm looking at you, so I have the best view of all.
Aw, thank you. What do you want for Christmas?
I'd like to know if we have any top of the show business.
We do. We have a bunch of stuff. So, first of all, just in general, there's nothing much to say about this. But I ran a poll online on our Twitter account and our Instagram.
Oh, right.
I was just kind of curious, like, does anyone, like, follow us that doesn't listen? And apparently, like, most people don't listen. Like, as far as our social media goes, like, 75% of our social media willingly let us know that they don't listen to the podcast. But that's cool. So eventually, maybe they will start listening. They're around for my dank Relient K takes and memes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an interesting thing to discover. Oh, and last week, I meant to edit something in after the fact, but we were getting to the wire, getting that episode out. The whole time when we were mixing up Silent Night with Oh Holy Night, and you had done research for Silent Night Away in a Manger.
Right.
And I didn't realize this when we were talking about that, but we've already done that song. So when I told, that was in our first 4 pods of Christmas.
It's been a long year. I totally forgot.
We did, and the specific thing around this didn't hit me until after we did the episode. But they do Silent Night, Away in a Manger, and go into I Celebrate the Day. So we did all 3 of those songs in one episode.
Yeah.
So in the year that they recorded those, that Relient K recorded those 3 bonus tracks with Ethan on drums, I guess that tour, they mixed it up. And you even said, like, it was kind of odd that they went from Oh Holy Night into Silent Night. I'm sorry, into I Celebrate the Day. Yeah, sorry, I mixed it up again. But that was the significance that we didn't realize, that I Celebrate the Day has that complete, like, Silent Night, Away in a Manger, like, thing. That was so intentful on the record that we deliberately did all 3 of those songs together because we didn't think you could separate them.
Right.
But apparently that wasn't the case because you could do A Holy Night leading into I Celebrate the Day anyway. Oh, speaking of which, I forgot, where is it?
Right over here.
No, I see that the print's there, but I saved the... Where is it?
Right here.
We're so prepared. No, I was looking for the envelope that...
Oh, gosh.
It's right there. It's behind you. So what we got this beautiful I Celebrate the Day Christmas print that we were retweeting and letting people know on our Instagram stories were for sale from Madison Dunaway. And their Instagram is custom_made_creative. Custom Made Creative is the name of their business.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
It came in today.
So they thanked us for sending them that and gave us a free print.
Nice.
So I hope everyone else bought one. And if you didn't, go to custom_made_creative. Custom Made Creative by Madison Dunaway.
It's super cute.
Yes. And then we do have voicemails. And one of them is, again, relevant to last week's episode. So this is from Connor Daddy called back. I just spoiled he was going to say the joke. Pretend I didn't say that. Let's see who this is.
Hey, Danny and Jess. Connor Daddy, I guess, here. Yeah, so I didn't know anything about these Woodland Hills things or whatever.
So he's talking about the Woodland Forest cartoons, which I guess not every Relient K person knows about it. I barely knew about them because when they came out, I kind of checked them out, but I didn't remember them until we started doing this podcast a year ago. But we said Woodland Hills at one point because that's the name of a Los Angeles town.
Right.
And then he just called them Woodland Hills.
But when I saw that you were doing Oh Holy Night, I was like, oh man, I really hope they do this one particular audio of Oh Holy Night. That's really funny. So that, the audio from that, it's not actually original to that animation. It's actually, that is pitch shifted up from like the original. It's like, if I remember correctly, that, Oh Holy Night audio was actually recorded by a guy who worked at an actual recording studio. Oh, there's a fire truck driving by. So that's fun. So that was recorded by a guy who worked at an actual recording studio, and it was like late in the studio one night or something, and he decided that he was just going to go and record that rendition of Oh Holy Night, but make fun of a lot of like the terrible like vocalists and singers who would come in to record their stuff at his studio, like all the really bad ones. So that is the story that I've seen, that it's specifically meant to be poking fun at like really bad like people recording in his studio. But yeah, I've always thought that was funny, and I'm glad it came up in some capacity. So yeah. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye.
So then Connor followed up with a DM, and I'm pulling that up. But basically,
that's interesting.
Like he said, I didn't know it either. I actually tried to dig a little bit to figure out what the audio was in the Woodland Forest Christmas episode, but I didn't find anything. And I like searched on Twitter, and I was like, who did the vocals? I was kind of assuming, based off the idea that it was recorded by Relient K, that maybe it was John Warren or something. Yeah. Right? But no, it's actually like a proto meme from 2007 that was like out there, and they took this meme of a guy singing Oh Holy Night badly on purpose and pitch shifted it up, which kind of gave it that South Park quality that you talked about, and then released it that way. So here it is. Connor DM'd, and it's the guy's name was Steve Maudlin. And it's basically exactly the same audio you've heard, but it sounds like an actual human being instead of like sounding like a deer.
Instead of sounding like a deer.
My name is...
What does the deer say?
Oh, wow.
That's been 20 years ago.
Oh, so this video that...
Yeah, what does the fox say was from 20 years ago?
So this video of Steve Maudlin is him explaining when he did this thing that became like a proto meme. Let's see if we can hear some of his, properly pitched version.
Till he appeared, and our soul felt its worth.
So that explains that. Like, I didn't even try to dig into that because I looked online and I couldn't figure it out, assuming, like I said, that Relient K recorded that audio.
Yeah.
Now that makes me wonder. Once I knew that, I looked, and there's tons of YouTube videos and memes based around Oh Holy Nightmare on its own. It never occurred to me to search Oh Holy Nightmare without the words Relient K. And then I found tons of videos based on the actual thing. However, at least the 4 fan videos based off of what I thought was Relient K's Oh Holy Nightmare, I think that they were inspired by Relient K's specific version because they sounded pitched properly to me.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe the one where the guy was doing like a talent show thing at his church, like badly singing and mouthing the words on purpose, that might have been based off of the original proto meme and not the Relient K thing. So thanks to Connor for that was a pod mystery that we didn't even know was a mystery. All I did was I went on Twitter and I typed in like Holy Nightmare Relient K vocals. Oh Holy Nightmare Relient K vocalist. I was like trying to see if anyone had ever talked about it online.
Right.
On Twitter specifically, and no one ever did. So yeah. Thank you, Connor, for that. And then we have one other voicemail from David Park.
Hey, couple things. This is David from Jimmy Eat Pod. Jimmy Eat World actually has a history with the Mormon Church. They are not a Mormon band yet. They are consisted of members that grew up in the Mormon faith, and their original bass player had left before they signed to Capitol to go on his mission. So that maybe she's conflating the Relient K with Jimmy Eat World. Anyway, separate of that, we all know that in the VeggieTales world, if anyone were a rutabaga, it would be pop sensation Lou Bega would be the rutabaga in the VeggieTales world. Thank you. Good night.
Jessica, what are you doing over there?
Santa came by and he ate all our milk and cookies, so I was just making a little more tea.
That mother. So you gotta disinfect all that stuff now because he doesn't believe in masks or whatever.
I know, that's true. I hope he didn't use any of my teacups or anything.
So so just following up because last week with that TikToker who went around claiming Relient K was Mormon,
right? Which
I haven't heard anything else about since. But like I said, maybe they were mixing up with the Aquabats. I saw other people saying maybe they mixed it up with Imagine Dragons. But now they could have mixed it up with the friend of that TikToker who worked in the industry.
Right.
Might have been thinking of Jimmy Eat World because apparently one member of the band from early on, I guess that David Park was saying was left the band to go on his mission right before Jimmy Eat World signed Capitol.
Yeah, she went on to talk about how all the members of Bowling for Soup are actually Moonies.
I forgot about the Moonies.
Yeah. I worked with some, too.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
I guess that's another thing that if you hear about, because I barely know what that is, but...
I had never heard of them until I worked with two of them.
Yeah, I guess there are, like, plenty of, like, of these, like, innocuous sort of sects of Christian-based faith, right?
I don't even know if they're a sect of Christian-based faith or not.
Right, but I
do know that some dude is like, hey, you two should be married. There are arranged marriages through their church.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
so there's so many more things like that out there because then like when the person, not to get back into this, but when somebody last week was like, Relient K has roots in Quaker denomination, so maybe that's what they confuse. There's all these denominations and like things that are technically... I guess, so when I said innocuous, what I meant was like, there are plenty of like little religions and pseudo-Christian denominations and stuff and things that might technically fall under the thing of cults, but they're not cults in like the sensational like Scientology or NXIVM sort of thing. They're just like churches, and maybe if you hear someone is one of those, then you get confused and you name some other one and then you put it on your TikTok when Relient K was never one of those groups at all.
Right. Okay, so the Moonies are a mix of Christianity, Confucianism, shamanism, and anti-communism.
Oh. Well, I like that last one.
According to their founder.
Okay.
I guess.
Well...
They are classified as a cult, though.
Okay. Well, also...
No offense if we have any Mooney listeners, but...
That's something at least Google classifies you as a cult.
Multiple.
Just like the Lou Big... Multiple what?
Multiple news articles.
Right.
So I'm laughing at the Lou Big.
The Lou Big is a rutabaga cult is another one. So thank you for those voicemails. Just double checking... Yeah, I guess that's it for top of the show. So, Merry Christmas. Why don't we get out of here early? Can we get out of here early? It's Christmas.
Moving on to Santa Claus is thumbing to town. So not the very first part, but like in the first act of this song,
Right.
it's a little wake up call immediately followed by a lot of breakdown.
Right, okay. Do you mean break down the song or breakdowns? Like there's a lot of breakdowns in this song.
There are a lot of breakdowns, but I meant the song breakdown. It has that very like here. I just hope my remorse was not too little, too late. Oh, the first part of this is like wake up call, and then it goes into because then it blew up right in my face once again. Life on all my nerves. Don't you see that I'm stuck in this place? It's kind of like I'm not quite at the right point in the song,
but I get it. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about this song that basically, I mean, if it's Matt Thiessen writing the songs, then there are those phrases and chord progressions that interest him or that he naturally goes to. So it makes sense it would sound like one of those other songs.
It's just that very beginning part, and then it goes into just a very, like, the most 2004 song you've ever heard.
Right. Well, what I was going to say about this is that basically how we talk about the Deck the Halls Christmas songs, the Deck the Halls and Bruise Your Hands Christmas songs specifically, are among the most Blink-182-esque stuff Relient K has ever done.
Right.
Or any other time you're like, oh, Relient K sounds like Blink-182. You're like, I guess, sorta. But if you put this album, Deck the Halls, Bruise Your Hands on, you're like, this sounds like Blink-182. Well, this song specifically is like you took Blink-182's 2003 album specifically, right? Whereas so much other stuff on the Deck the Halls and Bruise Your Hand album kind of sounds like, early Travis Blink-182.
Right.
Like this sounds like late Travis Blink-182 in terms of that couple of years, like
Gotcha.
99 to 2003 or whatever. This sounds like the most self-unentitled 2003 Blink-182 sort of tone, but then with the fast pop punk stuff, so it's like Go or something from that album, combined with like a chunky NoFX like bass sort of tone. So this is like this is like their most pop punk album.
It really is.
You know what I mean?
Like this song is so like ruckusy, like pop punk, not like a lot of these Christmas songs, especially from Deck the Halls, Bruise Your Hand, are not super Relient K.
Right.
Like the beginning of this song is the only part that's super Relient K.
Yeah. Like when people say Relient K is a pop punk band, and we're always kind of resistant to that. This is the example I give. I'd be like, okay, this is them doing pop punk.
Right.
And compare the actual sound of this song, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Thumbing to Town, or Angels We Have Heard on High, or other song, or 12 Days of Christmas. Compare these songs to their original song, to those original songs, you know what I mean? Well,
Right.
12 Days of Christmas has an original part. But compare their pop punk Christmas songs to their fastest pop rock songs on their own albums from before then. And this is like, this is Relient K sounding like NoFX and Blink-182 in a blender.
Right.
In a Christmas blender with lots of nice Christmas liquor and licorice. I don't know. What do you put into a Christmas blender?
Licorice.
So, let me see. So this song was on Happy Christmas Volume 3, which we talked about the Happy Christmas comps a little bit last week because we talked about how Ivory Line also did Oh Holy Night, but it was on Happy Christmas Volume 5.
Gotcha.
So the Happy Christmas comps were Tooth and Nail Records, but they were any sort of like Christian alternative band, any band that would play on the skate stage at Soulfest.
Right.
Any Tooth and Nail, sort of like not as much CCM stuff. There were a couple of like bands that might have crossover with CCM, like the Supertones or Relient K or something, but it was mostly like MXPX, that song Christmas Day, the one I tricked you into thinking it was a...
Right.
Well, what was the lyric? There's something about the way you... The lyric is, there's something about the way you spend your Christmas. And we were watching the second MXPX Between This World and the Next live stream, and Jessica was like, what did he say? She thought he actually said something dirty. And I was like, I can't remember what you thought he said. But then I said, no, he said there's something about the way you chew your breath mints.
Right.
And she was like, really? That's such a weird lyric. And I was like, I know, it's weird. And then I immediately said, no, I'm lying.
I think it was like suck your candy or something like that.
Right.
I think that was what I thought he said.
So I think you thought he said something about nipples.
What? There's not even an N in there.
I guess not. Well, anyway, this was on Happy Christmas Volume 3, and I loved the first 2 Happy Christmas albums because there were lots of bands that I really liked doing high-energy, fun takes on Christmas songs.
Yeah.
But then by Happy Christmas Volume 3, I started to kind of lose the beat a little bit. I don't remember most of the bands that were on that one.
You realized you weren't that into Christmas music, so you just kind of moved on. Yeah.
Did you find any? You did your deep dive on this song, right?
I did.
So maybe to skip ahead a little bit, because I don't know if you found this, but why do they spell Claus with an E here?
I don't know. I did not come across that, but it definitely was like, Google was like, did you mean? And I was like, no.
Right. It's so strange because this song is called Santa Claus is Summoned to Town. And I guess just in case.
Maybe they just wanted to be funny.
Right. Weird. I don't know. And just in case.
Like they're doing a contract.
Right.
Clause.
Yeah. I don't understand. For some reason, I always thought that this was like. Because I never listened to tons of Relient K Christmas like a lot of other people do. Mm-hmm. I just generally, 2 years ago, if you said, like, what's the deal with the song Santa Claus is Summoned to Town? I would have been wrong, but I would have been like, oh, isn't it like Santa Claus is coming to town, but like half the song is original? And no, it's a completely original song based off the title of a well-known Christmas song. I thought, because 12 Days of Christmas is a song, the Relient K's 12 Days of Christmas, I've heard tons. I didn't used to listen to the Christmas album from beginning to end.
Right.
Until recently. But I've heard 12 Days of Christmas a bunch, and I know there are original lyrics in that version. So for some reason, I always thought that Santa Claus is Coming to Town was like, is Santa Claus is Coming to Town with some original material. But no, it's just a totally new song. And I've known this for a while. I'm a bad fan, but I'm just saying I've known this for a while. It's just, it took a couple years for my head to wrap around that idea.
Right. And I don't know what the reason for the spelling is. It is, Santa Claus is copyright free.
Right. No, I didn't think that Santa Claus...
But I mean, like, some of the other songs, or like why they spell Reliant the way they do, is like we think for copyright reasons. So I'm like, any other song title that they spell differently is, and that makes me question: is it actually like, 17 magazine not being done like, not being spelled out, but with the numbers instead? Is that not? Maybe it wasn't for copyright reasons. Maybe it was just an artistic choice.
Or is it just like a reference to the fact that they are reliant with an E? Is it like a
maybe.
really, really subtle joke? Because when you look
Could
at like
be.
fan uploads of this song and fan material on YouTube, they all spell Santa Claus correctly, which is technically incorrectly.
In my
for the
notes,
sake
I
of the
spelled
song.
it correctly.
Right. So I just found something called Santa-Claus oh my gosh. Oh, it's called emailsanta.com, and it'll just take you to their blog spot, I guess. And it's asking, like, how do you spell Santa? Some people call me Santa Claus. Some people call me Saint Nicholas. Some people call me Père Noël. Some blah, 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 blah. But then there were those funny Disney movies where it was Santa Claus with an E. Right, because clause with an E means a clause in a contract. It's
Right.
a pun.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like Mortal Kombat, where like a lot of people in my generation probably think the word combat is spelled with a K. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. I hate that, especially when it's like when they spell things, incorrectly, intentionally. That bothers
Right.
me, especially, and we get it a lot around LA, when a tattoo parlor is spelled incorrectly, like custom with a K. I'm like, why would anyone trust you? You're not going to get the tattoo right, especially if you have spelling in it or lettering.
Right. That reminds me of the Quentin Tarantino movie Inglourious Bastards, because that is spelled wrong. There's a U in the word Inglorious that it's not supposed to be in there. And, obviously he spelled bastards with an E instead of an A. And I was, and like at the time, people were like, why'd you spell it wrong? He's like, it's just the Quentin Tarantino way of spelling it, man. But it's like, okay, maybe hypothetically they spelled bastards with an E because, like, it's a swear. But there are other movies with swears in the title. Like, the PG and the PG-13 swears have been in movie titles before. But to spell Inglorious with a U is so pointless.
Right.
So my theory has always been that the script leaked. And as you do when you're someone like Quentin Tarantino, his scripts are like written on a typewriter, like a real typewriter. So his actual like hand typed copy of the script leaked online. And I was like, what if he just didn't know how to spell Inglorious and it was in a typewriter and he was like, someone was going to go through and copy edit. Someone was going to edit it later for correction, spelling correction, to spell correct. I wish someone could spell correct my brain right now.
He said during a news conference, I'm never going to explain that.
I think he spelled the word Inglorious wrong on his typewriter, his pretentious typewriter. The photocopies of his script leaked online and he just said it was on purpose. Because I think there are other spelling mistakes within the pages of his script, but no one, like, most people don't see those because most people don't actually look at the leaked script. They just get the news about it. Anyway, maybe Relient K just spelled it wrong by mistake and they just owned it like Quentin Tarantino did. They just didn't want to lose face.
I feel like Relient K might have more people to answer to than Quentin Tarantino. Like, I don't know, just a thought.
People at the label who double check, like, did you guys mean to do this?
Yes.
Maybe it's just the person who typed it up who, like, did the what do you call it?
I think the Weinsteins have bigger things to worry about than if Quentin Tarantino is spelling things correctly.
Oh, I was like, the Weinsteins ran Goatee Records?
Yeah, didn't you know?
Yes, I did know that.
Then why did you just sound surprised?
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. SantaEmail.com tells me that the first time Santa Claus was spelled with an E was the Disney movies. That no one ever assumed it was that until the Disney movies.
Well, because it's the Santa Claus. There's a clause in the contract. It's in the first act.
Yeah, that's the idea of the movie.
Yeah.
It's a pun.
That's why it's spelled that way.
So, moving on. I feel like we've been here for a million years. We definitely have to get into the lyrics because this is one of those songs that even though I've like listened to it a lot more in the last couple of Christmases, I definitely don't really know the lyrics.
Same.
And when I was watching, there's a ton of fan music videos to this song and animated fan videos. And as I was watching those, I'm like, oh, Rudolph is puking balls of holly? Is that what he's doing? What's he doing? Because they showed Rudolph puking, like, Christmas ornaments in one of the videos. So I was like, what is he puking? I want to get into the lyrics, basically.
Yes, please.
So let's do that.
Sorry, April loves picking while we're recording to eat her dinner.
It's not professional.
Hey, you're supposed to be over here on sound. What are you doing? Our engineer is really slacking. She's like, how dare you?
Okay, I'm just pulling up Google's lyrics. I'm not going to AZ or Genius, so if there's mistakes in this, I don't know. But 'twas the night before Christmas, and up at the North Pole, everybody's going crazy, everything's out of control. Okay, I definitely could suss that out. The toy shop is on fire, the toys are melting on the shelves, and you can hear Mrs. Claus screaming, I warned you, never trust those elves. So, right there...
April's upset.
Yeah, she's very upset.
She says, what? What do you mean? She's like all of the other reindeer. She's like, what do you mean Christmas is canceled? What do you mean Santa isn't going to come visit everybody this year?
So, maybe she's upset. The thing I was about to say was that Mrs. Claus in this song is hella racist.
Oh,
she's
no.
like, think about it. She's like, don't trust those elves.
Oh,
don't trust
no.
that whole race of creatures known as the elves.
Oh, no.
Does she mean... When she says you people, does she mean that specific group of elves, or does she mean all elves? But here she says, I warned you, never trust those elves. They've been working for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Thousands of years. Yeah. Hundreds of years. Santa Claus, the magical Santa Claus, I assume, can only have existed after the existence of the real Saint Nick. So when did the real Saint Nick die?
I think like the 1800s.
When did St. Nicholas die? He has not died. Oh, he died in 343.
Oh, wow. I was way off.
So, unless there's a different St. Nicholas.
There's only one Santa, Danny.
When did the real Santa Claus die?
He's still around. He's visiting everybody. He's getting ready right now, and he's not going to bring you anything because you're being
I'm assuming that he
sacrilegious.
I'm From St. Nicholas to Santa Claus, the original origins of Kris Kringle, according to National Geographic. Oh, so long, so many words. Oh well, whatever. So Santa Claus has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, and I assume the elves have been working on all the toys. And after all this time, in 2002, 2007, when the first Christmas CD came out,
right?
2000.
There's a pretty wide range in there, Dan.
Right, 2004. In 2004, when the first Christmas album came out, for the first time in hundreds of years, Santa Claus's wife is like, can't trust those elves. They got sticky fingers.
Santa is 1,750 years old.
Well, there you go.
For your information.
So,
although apparently that is still a young age for an elf.
Well, yeah, elves got to be like thousands of years old or whatever.
Sure.
I assume they've been around since Tolkien times, because Tolkien stuff was real, right? So
Danny.
What? The Middle Earth was like the Earth that happened in between this Earth and the original Earth.
No, that's just fantasy. I'm talking about reality here. Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Reality.
I understand.
Lord of the Rings. That's fantasy.
I assume that the
up.
Christmas elves like are descendants of the Middle Earth elves before the Middle Earth became the regular Earth.
Don't you think that we would have more than one like
race of creature that descended from things like orcs? Jessica, forget everything you thought you knew about orcs and accept the fact.
I've lost the word I'm looking for, but wow, we are really out of it tonight.
Let's get back on track with these lyrics. Unless something drastic happens fast, say hello to the ghost of Christmas past. Because I was right. Because Rudolph's pukin' bogs of holly. That's what it says. It says bogs.
Bogs.
Like a bog that you weigh through or a bog that you dig through.
Huh.
Rudolph's puking bogs of holly. Old Saint Nick ain't all that jolly. And the sleigh's in the shop 'cause it's broke down, but Christmas don't stop 'cause Santa Claus is thumbing to town. Whoa, Santa Claus is thumbing to town. Whoa. So I don't understand what a bog of holly is unless maybe we do have to go to Genius because we can always trust the Christmas geniuses. It says Rudolph's puking bogs of holly, and there's no annotation of what the heck a bog of holly is. Are you Googling bog of holly?
Yeah, and for some reason just some writer came up named Holly something or another.
Holly bog?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. All I'm getting is like...
Okay, it's
I'm
a phrase.
not sure what language this is, but...
I found some stuff. You might not have spelled bogs right because Bogs of Holly is the name of a Trans-Siberian Orchestra song. That was my first result. Bog is spelled Boughs.
That's why.
So here on bushesflorist.com, it says, what are bogs of holly? The holly... Oh, all this lead. Just tell me the answer. Every article should just be one answer. Not like a bunch of lead up.
That's what Google is for. That's what that first thing on Google is for. Where you just click the thing real quick, or it just tells you right at the top, like the short answer, and then you click in to learn the long answer.
Okay. I am learning something about Christmas that I never understood. But a holly, like a holly wreath, like those classic red and green things that you hang up all over the place. A collection, like a bunch of them, like a palm frond, like things that come out of a palm are called a frond. Apparently, things that come out of a holly are bogs.
Interesting.
Bogs of holly. So when they sing "Deck the halls with bogs of holly," they're singing "Deck the halls with bogs of holly." I always thought it was "Deck the halls with balls of holly."
I thought it was bows.
There you go, or like bows. Maybe I did think it was bows. Maybe I just kind of like never thought about it.
I thought it was bow, and like bow meant like.
Yeah.
I don't know, a sweeping wreath of them.
Yeah, a wreath, like a bow,
Sure,
like a
yeah.
bow. Maybe it's like a bow of holly, but you pronounce it bow on purpose to make the song make more sense. Well, I never knew this. A bog of holly is what you call a collection of holly.
Learn
Crazy.
something new every day.
Learn something new every day here on Sadie Hawkins Pod, the original Stuff You Should Know podcast.
Oh, wow.
So moving on to the lyrics.
Bold claim.
Very much to his disliking, Santa spent all night hitchhiking. Now, coming up is my number one note on the song.
Okay.
With a sign that reads, "Ho, ho, slow down. Santa Claus is thumbing to town." So, as we'll learn in a moment, in the story of this song, Santa Claus never gets picked up while he's trying to hitchhike, right?
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning. Perhaps he should have had a better, more concise sign than "Ho, ho, slow down." Because if I'm driving down the highway, I see a Santa Claus, I first don't assume it's the Santa Claus, obviously. But if he's holding a sign that says, "Ho, ho, slow down," I'm going to assume it's some guy that's out there, or lady, some person who's out there doing their part to make everyone drive more carefully during the holiday season. Because if it says, "Ho, ho, slow down," it doesn't say stop.
Drive like your kids lived here.
Right. If I see a sign that says, "Ho, ho, drive like your kids live here," I'd be like, Santa Claus is telling me to drive, especially in the snow and the sleet, and you gotta be careful.
Plus, you have to imagine, Santa is magic. He can slow down time. He can get into houses. He can, even if they don't have a chimney. So you have to imagine that even if the sleigh broke down for whatever reason, he has a backup plan.
Right. So the next stanza is, "Every car just drove right past him and sped right out of sight. Santa never got to ask them to drive around the world in just one night." So that's nobody's fault but Santa Claus, because he held a sign that said, "Ho, ho, slow down." You don't know, and now it says every car sped right past him, but you don't know if they were going like 70 miles an hour in a 60 mile an hour speed zone, and they see Santa Claus, and they're like, he's right, I should slow down.
Sure.
And they slow down to 60, but when they go vroom past Santa Claus, they're going 60. They're going now the speed limit. They're driving more safely. Perhaps Santa Claus inadvertently saved some lives that night with his "Ho, ho, slow down" sign. Oh. But it's no wonder he didn't get picked up for hitchhiking, because it is a horrible sign.
It's true.
"Ho, ho, slow down." It's "Ho, ho, stop, please." "Ho, ho, need a ride." "Ho, ho, gas, grass, or ass." Like something other than "Ho, ho, slow down." And yeah.
Sleds in the shop. It's all you need.
Sleds in the shop. Need a ride.
Yep.
The other thing that, sorry, I just closed a whatever. There's a thing on the table.
Oh my goodness. So much banging.
Sorry. There's the plug to Jessica's computer sitting on the table, and I'm just flicking it.
Okay.
Merry Christmas. So,
excuse me while I go into mom mode, and I'm like, I'm taking this stuff away.
So now I wonder, like, if someone stopped and helped that Kris Kringle, would they have assumed it's the real Santa Claus? By the way, as many of you may or may not know and heard, like, once in a while when there's like a thing on the internet or on television, they're like, there's no actual land at the North Pole. Did you realize that?
I did not.
There's ice around there, but there's not actual. It's not like Antarctica. It's not like the South Pole, where there's land in the South Pole. Like, that whole part of the bottom of the hemisphere is land.
Where did they go on ice road truckers?
I have no idea. But the North Pole is
I feel like
just,
that was at a pole, but I could be wrong.
Probably. The North Pole there's no land there. When you think about giant Antarctica, again, if you're one of those round earthers, when you think of giant Antarctica taking up all that space underneath the planet,
right?
There's no equivalent to it on the north part of the planet. There's Greenland goes all the way up there, and and Alaska goes real high up, but there's no actual land at the North Pole. They're shifting seismic ice or whatever, I guess. And I guess Santa could be there, but he'd be moving all around because that ice isn't sedentary. It's not land.
Maybe he has, like how we have the, like, earthquake straps on the back of our stuff. Maybe he's, like, got the tectonic plate shift straps, and he has like a giant, like, evil villain fortress.
Maybe this explains the infamous Mexican Santa Claus movie from the 60s that Mystery Science Theater famously did, but in Mexico it's actually like, I don't know if it still is in 2020, but in the 90s when Mystery Science Theater did the Santa Claus Mexican movie, it was still a beloved like staple of Mexican television for Christmas season in Mexico. So like Mexican fans were upset that they did it because like it'd be like them doing It's a Wonderful Life or something.
Right.
In that movie, Santa Claus is in a castle in the clouds.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's like, I wonder if like the Mexican, I don't know if it's just that movie or whatever, but I wonder if the people who made that movie were like, there's no land in the North Pole. Where he obviously, he must be in the clouds above the North Pole.
Maybe he is. Maybe they have a direct line to Santa. They know.
Yeah.
Maybe some elves retired down in the sunshine in Mexico. You don't know.
Maybe they know more about the real Santa Claus, the one whose sidekick is Merlin the Magician.
Exactly.
That's also from that movie.
Yes.
So
It makes sense. Santa's magic. Maybe he needs a magician's help.
Maybe. So, hypothetically, Santa Claus is in Alaska or northern Canada or Iceland or Greenland or whatever, right? And he's hitchhiking. Someone stops. Someone sees his sign that says, ho, 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 stop, please. They stop, and he's like, now I want to ask you, help me drive around the world in just one night. Does Santa Claus have the magic within him to cause their car to fly around the world in just one night? Because all those people missed... Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
All those people missed that opportunity. But it's not their fault, because Santa Claus was holding a horrible sign that did not communicate what he actually needed.
Right.
This song also reminds me of the Weird Al song, The Night Santa Went Crazy. Have you ever heard that song?
I have not.
It's from the Bad Hair Day album. The one where he's... The one with Amish Paradise.
Yeah.
It's a song about Santa Claus going postal. Like Santa Claus losing his mind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like playing it. It's kind of depressing, really. It's kind of like funny and irreverent when you hear it, but right now, and especially in the context of Relient K's nice song, it's kind of depressing. But he like goes on a killing spree. Oh, also, wow. I guess in 1996, that sort of thing happening in the actual world, in this actual country all the time.
Right.
Might have been a little funnier, but that's the idea. Santa Claus starts like killing everybody. It's called The Night Santa Went Crazy. And there's two versions. There's one on the Bad Hair Day album. And then that version, some of the lyrics are actually toned down.
Oh, wow.
And then on the single of Amish Paradise, you can hear like the one that has slightly gorier lyrics.
So you're saying it's like Nancy Drew, how they decided that at post 30 she was a little too belligerent. So in the 50s, they're like, listen, let's tone it down a little bit.
Yes.
Make her a little bit more beloved and grounded.
Yes. So this song kind of reminds me of that. It's a story about Santa Claus dealing with like a situation, like the toy shop's on fire and the elves are running around and now he's got to hitchhike, but it's still Santa Claus trying to hold it together. Is this a prequel to the Weird Al song? I say no. I don't want it to be so. So we still have a few more lyrics. This is the chorus again. Bogs of holly, old Saint Nick, the jolly. Very much to his disliking, Santa spent all night hitchhiking with... Oh, I already read that. Okay, so that's sort of the end. Oh. It's one of those things where like the story actually ends like 75% of the way through the song.
So did he
and then we just repeat all the other stuff.
Did he get kind of around the earth a little bit at least? Because he spent the night hitchhiking.
Right.
Did anyone pick him up and they're like, hey, I can only take you as far as Africa. Sorry, man.
Well, it does say no one stopped, so he could ask them. So the answer is no. He just kept walking.
Bummer.
It's a bummer. So that was the summer. That was the Christmas that didn't happen.
Gotcha.
Well,
let's take a break, and when we come back, we've got a deep dive.
Yes. If you enjoy Sadie Hawkins Pod, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. And you can interact with the show. Call our voicemail line, 402-95-SADIE, and we'll play it on a future show.
You can send an email to sadiehawkinspod@gmail.com and visit our Instagram and Twitter, which are both @SadieHawkinsPod.
We also have merch up at our TeePublic store, where you can get a shirt, a mug, stickers, and more.
Just in time for Halloween, or for after Halloween, depending on when you're listening to this, is our little Sheep Boy shirt design, based on the cover of the original Creepy EP. We also want to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/SadieHawkinsPod. Brady, David, Tucker, This Might Be a Podcast, Owen, Jimmy Eat Pod, Roxanne, Samantha, Helen, Michael, and Connor. You can sign up to our Patreon for bonus episodes and exclusive merch.
And if you have a special someone in your life, think of giving them the gift of Sadie Hawkins Pod.
Over on Song Meanings, 18 years ago, Season the Day said, "Hey, it's Jimmy Burns, and I was the first to post on this."
Thanks, Jimmy Burns.
18 years ago, Holby178 said, "Congrats, but I'm second." 18 years ago, Sir Cal87 said, "Well, I'm third."
Oh my gosh.
17 years ago, I'm Lion-O said, "I'm fourth, hold on, big entrance," in all caps.
Oh my goodness.
16 years ago, CC Ghost said, "LOL, I'm fifth. I love this song, laughed when I heard it."
Who would have thought Relient K fans could be so obnoxious? No, I never would have guessed it.
It goes on like that for two more comments.
Okay.
So through 7, which is Caitlin Hill 24, 14 years ago, said, "7th grade here. Quite obviously, Santa's stuck thumbing to town because those silly elves can't be trusted, or maybe it's humanity's fault for not picking up Santa while he was hitchhiking. Nah, I'm blaming those elves."
No, it's Santa Claus's fault for not having a better sign.
13 years ago, Golden_Child said, "Poor Santa. If he can get to Alaska, I'm not that far from there. From the Alaskan highway, I can pick him up." And skipping forward ahead a little bit, TommyBoy93, 12 years ago, said, "And I'm the 10th. I've never heard this song. I just wanted to say I'm the 10th. These lyrics are hilarious, though."
Okay.
So, not a lot of meanings, but a lot of comments.
Nice.
Then we have 2 TikToks. Here's one where it's people spinning around.
Did you know that Santa Claus is actually a Mormon?
They're artisan Christmas ornaments. And
Nice.
They're very cute. They're nice little like ball ornaments painted really pretty. And then we have a girl sitting in a dark car lip syncing. And she changes the camera
Kind of looks
angle
like my sister.
as it goes a little bit.
She's a 6 on the My Sister scale. She's like Amanda Bynes and my sister had a daughter.
Yeah. Then over on fanfiction.net, there is...
Okay.
We have
The classic.
Santa Claus is Thumbing to Town by Cyborg with Great Hair. And this fandom is Books, Jeanette Evanach, and it's just called Santa Claus is Thumbing to Town. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Let's see. Drama and Angst, Ranger M, Tank, Lester, Merryman.
None of these are words.
I don't know. They're all words. They just don't string together particularly well. I've been telling myself for a couple of weeks now that I was going to write a Christmas songfic. Problem was, I couldn't find a Christmas song that spoke to me enough to tell a story until last night. 8 o'clock on Christmas Eve, I decided what the song shall be and worked out the setting, etc. for it. And today I spent all day, pretty much, I started at 8 a.m. and it's now p.m. writing it because it had to get done before Christmas Day.
Right.
Edit. I had to take the lyrics out, so please either listen to the song or have a read of the lyrics so you get the feel for the song.
Did they get copyright striked on
No.
fanfiction? Why'd they take the lyrics out?
I don't know.
Maybe they did get copyright striked. Maybe you can't just post maybe fanfiction.
You can totally
But on
post lyrics.
fanfiction.net, can you?
Sure.
Sometimes you go to like, not AZ Lyrics. Sometimes AZ Lyrics randomly just goes down for no reason, but there's another one. I can't remember what it's called. There's one of the main lyric sites where you go there and it says, our copyright does not allow us to show the lyrics of this song. And you're like, then why does your website exist? Because every other website just does it.
Yeah, okay, maybe. I don't know. I usually read over on Archive of Our Own because the mobile site for fanfiction.net is not great. So I don't really go to fanfiction.net a lot. But yeah, maybe they do. I know on AO3 you can definitely post lyrics, but maybe you can't over here.
Especially like if that's sort of an earlier, an early 2000s version of the internet. Did it have a date on that? I'm just saying if it's early 2000s when like people maybe were even more cautious than they are now about copyright stuff and like
2013.
So never mind that. That might have been like more like preemptively being cautious of getting copyright cease and desist. So you're not allowing your users to even use.
Fan fiction is all copyright infringement.
Exactly. But maybe that counts as like plagiarism for you to directly quote another written work, whether it's song lyrics or a poem or another novel or story.
Maybe.
Yeah.
This came in at number 2 on the Odyssey Online's 10 Songs to Wreck the Halls 2. It was also on a list of weirdest Christmas songs.
It's not that weird.
It's a little weird.
I guess it's a little weird.
Then we have over on CantonRep.com an interview with Thiessen. It's a Relient K Christmas with 2 Akron gigs, and then it has this incredibly horrifying picture where it's an oddly drawn elf holding a ukulele with Matt Thiessen's face printed on it, cut and pasted.
Okay, hold on one second. Because whenever you find interesting visuals, I don't really have them saved to my notes for the social media later, so I am going to save this right now and text it to myself because that's adorable and bizarre. So, while I do this real quick, my mom, speaking of Santa Claus and Christianity, etc., my mom became born again like the year after I was born. So she was like, I can't raise my son to believe in Santa Claus.
Some bullshit right there.
So she was like, Santa Claus isn't the reason for the season. I'm born again now, so I've learned that Jesus is the reason for the season. So my mom went and she specifically told me, now there's you'll hear about this thing called Santa. I don't know how she told me, but apparently I accepted it. Like I was kind of cool with it. And then apparently at some other point, I don't remember, I don't have these memories myself, but at some other point, like some old lady in a store one time when I was a little kid, tiny little kid, is like, what is Santa getting you for Christmas, little boy? And I went, there's no Santa Claus. Like, as much of a mansplainer as I am today, I've always been a mansplainer since I was probably 4 years old. There's no Santa Claus. Actually, there's no Santa Claus. I'm good all year because it's the best thing to do for my parents, not for reward of toys. Stuck up little Danny.
Well, I still believe in Santa, so that's why you never got extra toys, Danny. It's because you didn't believe. So this article is by Dan Kane, and it's from December 10th, 2010. Relient K will play a pair of intimate acoustic Christmas-themed shows Tuesday and Wednesday at Musica in downtown Akron. Matt Thiessen talks about the shows and other things. When Matt Thiessen phoned from Orlando, Florida on Tuesday afternoon, the first thing he wanted to know was how cold it was in Canton. One senses that Thiessen, who has been touring the country with the successful pop-punk band Relient K since his late teens, is never far from home in his thoughts. Relient K, for which the remarkably talented Thiessen is lead vocalist, chief songwriter, guitarist, and keyboards, will play a pair of intimate acoustic Christmas-themed shows Tuesday and Wednesday at Musica in downtown Akron. The first show is for 21 and older, the second is all ages. The band's Christmas album Let It Snow Baby, Let It Reindeer, released in 2007, but since updated on iTunes as one of the Yuletide season's brightest collections. There are punked-up renditions of traditional carols, Deck the Halls, 12 Days of Christmas, original songs, both cheeky, Santa Claus is Thumbing to Town, I Hate Christmas Parties, and tender, Merry Christmas, Here's to Many More, and I Celebrate the Day. And some creamy vocal harmonies to rival the Beach Boys.
That's a horrible descriptor of me. Creamy.
Creamy.
Hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
You don't like creamy?
I would rather... I don't care about the word moist at all, how people hate that word. And I don't hate the word creamy, but I hate it in regards to music. Like, and I didn't know this. This is just awoken in me.
Oh, wow.
You can't use the word creamy as a descriptor for music. It doesn't work.
Alrighty then. Here are my highlights from my Yuletide themed chat with Matt. Question. Your Christmas album is one of my very favorites. What can you tell me about it? Answer. The whole thing started because Jessica, my little sis, was pretty obsessed with Christmas when we were kids. The only things she'd listened to were the Lion King soundtrack or Christmas records. So we started recording Christmas songs so she'd have Relient K stuff to listen to. Question. Just for her? Seriously? Answer. The original idea was to record old Christmas songs and give them away free with our third album. This was probably back in August 2004. It's pretty funny recording Christmas songs when it's real hot outside. We only recorded 10 songs at first, but
Australia.
But we kept adding more. It's going to be an ongoing thing. Question. Some of your original Christmas songs have a touch of sadness to them, which so many of the best holiday songs do. Answer. I was just talking about that at our show the other night, how Christmas tends to magnify the joy in our lives and the lack therefore, and how it's something we should all try and to deal with around the holidays, that sadness. Question. Tell me about your Christmas shows in Akron next week. Answer. We're playing 6 or 7 Christmas songs out of 18 songs total. And the whole set is fun. It's acoustic with a little electric guitar, but pretty laid back and I guess more mature. People seem to be digging all the shows so far. Question. It's cool you're doing club shows in Akron close to home. Answer. We played Musica earlier this year and we had the opportunity to do it again. We feel like we haven't been playing Ohio enough the past few years. Question. Do you have any vivid memories of Christmas morning from when you were a kid? Answer.
No.
Let me think. I was really little, probably 1st or 2nd grade, and I didn't have any money, so the only thing I could afford to get my sister for Christmas was this huge can of Aquanet hairspray. She opened her Christmas stocking first, and she got a huge can of it from my mom. I got a little bummed about that. Question. Did your sister have real big hair? Answer. She had some teased afro type stuff going on, which was pretty awesome. She's a doctor now. Question. What was the best Christmas gift you ever received? Answer. I got a basketball hoop one year. It was a pretty big deal for me. Question. Final gift question. What are you asking Santa for this year? Answer. I like vinyl records. Question. Where will you be spending Christmas this year? Answer. I'll be in Bolivar, Ohio. My brother is flying in from California with his wife and their 2 kids. It's a big deal. Question. So, you are the original remaining member of Relient K? Answer. Founding member Matt Hoops is still in the band for sure. He just hasn't been touring with us, but he still shows up at practice. He's been working at our record label, and he produced a new record for our opening band, Dee's Vale. That's really great. He's been helping a bunch of different ways. It's still a team. He talks about coming back and playing some shows. There's always an open door for him. But to answer your question, I'm the only original guy on the road right now. That's interesting. I did not know that Hoops took some time off from touring for a while.
This stuff isn't like cataloged or recorded in like one neat little place, like, you know, whatever. But there are times when Matt Thiessen wasn't able to play certain shows, and there are times when Hoops wasn't on a tour.
So who's the vocalist if Thiessen isn't there?
I don't remember.
Oh
but
my
it has happened.
Really?
Someone called up and told us about
that's right.
how maybe even for 2016 Matt Thiessen had to miss a couple shows or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know, but this sort of stuff
that.
happens.
Question. Are you in touch with the other guys who've left, like Dave Douglas and Brian Pittman? Answer. I keep up with them like you keep up with friends. I miss those guys for sure. Question. You turned 30 this year. What was that like? You're such a boy. Answer. It was interesting. It's a funny number. I spend my life pretending I'm 19. I guess I need to prove to myself that I'm mature. Question. How old do you feel? Answer. The same as I did when I was 19. Maybe a little wiser. I still love to run around, throw a frisbee, write songs, make records, play shows. The same things kids do. Ooh, you want to know 3 steps to tell when a slot machine is close to hitting the jackpot?
We'll do that as a Patreon episode, so if people want to know, they got to pay us. So, great. So then, yeah, we have a couple of things. There are a couple of covers, and one, if my phone won't freeze...
Uh-oh.
What's happening? There we go. One of these covers, I just sort of last second decided to like double check I hadn't missed anything, and one of these covers came up in between when I originally did my research and when we're recording tonight. So here is a version that I haven't labeled yet because I just found it hours before we recorded. This is by C. White Music or C. Wyatt Music. It's the letter C, the word white, but with a Y instead of an I, and music. On December 13th, so just like this week, he recorded this cover of Santa Claus is Thumbin' to Town. And let me pause real quick to show you. He's all decked out. He's got a little tree, some
tree hat.
Mario stuff behind him, a tree hat that's all lit up.
Nice.
An ugly Christmas sweater and an acoustic guitar.
Right on.
That is what C. White Music has as he plays this version of the song.
Was the night before Christmas, up at the North Pole, everybody was screaming, everything's out of control. The toy shop is on fire, the toys melting on the shelves. You can hear Mrs. Paws screaming, I warned you to never trust those elves. Unless something drastic happens fast, say hello to the ghost of Christmas past. Because Rudolph's puking, boughs of holly, old Saint Nick ain't all that jolly, and Shane's in the shop cause it's broken down. Christmas don't stop, Santa Claus thumbing the town. Whoa, Santa Claus thumbing the town. Whoa, Santa Claus thumbing the town. Whoa.
I love that. Santa Claus thumbing to town. Whoa!
It's fun. I like it.
That is fun. I like the little pause before he does the woes. So then we only have two other covers. This one is by a group. I guess this group calls themselves Wimps. This is on YouTube, and here's the cover art. It's like this sort of chibi-esque, but also kind of alty, like line drawing anime art, with some Japanese letters. I guess the band, like I said, calls themselves. Well, the YouTube channel is called Wimps.
They look a little like Precious Moments drawings.
Yeah,
too,
like anime-esque
Yeah.
Precious Moments. They're wearing Christmas hats. And this is their cover of Santa Claus's Thumbin' to Town.
Twas the night before Christmas, and up at the North Pole, everybody's going crazy. Everything's out of control.
It kind of sounds like Ben Schwartz a little bit, like, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog and Parks and Rec and stuff.
Right.
But not really, but sort of.
I guess a little.
It's like if Ben Schwartz played at a Warped Tour band. What is Sonic the Hedgehog, but Ben Schwartz in a Warped Tour band?
Of course.
The movie, I mean.
Right.
Hear Miss Claus scream, I warned you never trust those elves. Unless something drastic happens fast, we'll say hello to the ghost of Christmas past. Because Rudolph's puking, pounds of folly, but old Saint Nick ain't all that jolly. Slays at the shop cause it's broken down. Christmas won't stop cause Santa Claus is thumbing to town. Santa Claus is thumbing to town. Santa Claus is thumbing to town.
They didn't even do the Woos. Controversial. Oh, and then we have the last cover here. This is Kayla Burgess. I'm kind of shooting through these covers real quick because there's a lot of like fan works, so I want to get to those. This is Kayla Burgess. Okay, I don't even know how any of that sounded just now, but I skipped a minute in because they took a minute to like settle in on their acoustic guitar. Super low res computer camera, skillet poster in the background, very strange purple pink walls. They look like the ooze from specifically Ghostbusters 2. The walls do. Yeah, so let's see if we can actually, and there's this weird like dropped, and there are these dropped frames which are also dropping the audio out. So let's see if we can actually hear some of the song that we recognize. I like that part. Unless something happened. I don't know, something about the way that wasn't done exactly correct. It was like this weird offbeat. I liked that. But yeah, it's tough to hear that
Because you like
video.
ska. She took a real ska
I
angle
love that
there.
offbeat. Just love that offbeat. So that's it for covers. But there are, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 produced fan music videos, meaning like either animated from scratch or like people in their house shooting a music video together, as opposed to like we also have like a Maple Story MMV and a RuneScape music video and like stuff like that. But and there's like a full claymation, like 20-minute stop motion animated movie, like a short film based on the idea of the song. We can't really watch it right now because it is very slow and a little lifeless because it's so long, and they're actually like trying to get so much story out that there's no real pace to it, so we can't really talk about it here.
That sounds amazing.
But just so people can kind of check that out if they want to on their own, that is uploaded by... It's uploaded by Bram Grot Films. Bram, Groat Films. Santa Claus is Coming to Town Part 1. If you type that in, you should get it. 11 years ago. So let's see about some of these fan music videos. Okay, we'll just go right to what I think is the best one. I think this is honestly... I tweeted about this a week or two ago because I did my original research for this song so early. I've seen a lot of fan music videos of Relient K songs now, and some of them are good, some of them are pretty well shot, a lot of them are very bad. Like all of them are heartfelt and good in a certain way, but this one is like, I guess like this one has the best editing of it. Has like whoever edited this video could maybe actually edit movies or should edit movies or edit trailers or something, because there's an energy to this music video that is like, I find undeniable. So I'm going to skip in a little bit. So it's just like them and their friends just kind of, and this is, I didn't say who this is, but this is the Three Sisters page, all one word, the number 3 sisters page, one word. And it's just them. It's all of them in costumes, and there's a cut every second. There's a cut every like beat or two. They went out to the road, and they had their friend dressed as Santa Claus, like actually trying to hitchhike with strangers, writing the sign. It says ho. Everyone wrote, just like how there's certain things that happen in every fan music video, everyone made the sign that says ho ho, slow down, even in the animated videos. They're out there like moshing on the road, running, screaming, pounding the ground in frustration. Like so much energy from all the performances,
waving at a truck
and the editing.
Driving by, and some cars.
And the editing, it just floored me because I see a lot of people, I see a lot of teenagers and 20-somethings putting effort into their video as far as their performances and their like photography. But sometimes it lacks finally in the editing. But this is like everything together in one.
Yeah.
This is so fun. They're running around, and then they like, is this the one? Yeah, this is actually like a film. So this is 7 minutes. So the song ends, but then there's an epilogue where you actually hear on-set audio of Santa Claus crying because he failed to get someone to take him hitchhiking around the world in just one night. And it's set to I Hate Christmas Parties. And so Santa's kind of finally resigned. He just sits there in the middle of a field. It's not snowy wherever they live. It's very just gray. And watch what happens.
A cowgirl just rode up?
A lady just rode up on a horse, like on a real horse, just in the shot, like walked into the shot, like out of nowhere,
and
perfectly
handed Santa
revealed.
The reins.
And handed Santa the reins. And Santa's so happy he's going to make it around the world in just one night on this horse. Didn't he have reindeer? I know Rudolph was puking bogs of holly, but were all of the reindeers puking bogs of holly? And there he goes. Then the Trans-Siberian Orchestra plays while Santa Claus actually like a Western film gallops through a
A
field.
field, yeah.
And then we cut to the credits, and it's full-on credits. And, like, if you watch these credits, they had whole characters that couldn't fit in the final edit. Like, they had so much to work with. This is really one of the best music videos. I commented on it, and I was like, I love it. I commented on this a week ago, and I said, this is one of the best Relient K fan videos I've seen, and its view count is a crime. I'm going to do whatever I can to fix this. It only has 164 views, and it's 4 years old. Everybody, please go and check out, because there's only so much we can do to describe the video.
Yeah.
Santa Claus is thumbing to town. Santa Claus spelled correctly, not in the Relient K way, but correctly. Santa Claus is thumbing to town by the Three Sisters page, one word. That's that video. And then there's a bunch of other videos. They're all good, but they're all literally, you can imagine all of them. They're like, they all make the sign that says Santa Claus is thumbing to town. Some of them are little kids. There's one where they actually they took like a dollhouse and they put a little sign on it that said toy shop, and then they actually lit it on fire like in the middle of their backyard or something, and then like filmed that. So there was definitely danger out there. And then that made me tweet something about how like recently I was like, I've been watching all these fan videos and I don't think anyone's getting set insurance or location releases. So anyway, I guess that's Santa Claus is thumbing to town. Do you want to watch another one of these? I don't know. There's a vlog. Oh yeah, there's a nice vlog. We'll end on this. Hold on one second. There's a drum cover. There's a guitar cover. Like I said, and like I said, there's a RuneScape video and a Maple Story video. But
what's Maple Story?
It's like an anime. Like it looks like I don't really know the game, but it's like an anime-esque game. You might have seen this in other fan videos. Hold on a second. I just recently figured out what it is because I see these all the time, and they're called MMVs. You recognize this general kind of like...
Sure, yeah.
It's like
I've seen that style before.
Yeah, they're like anime 8-bit, 16-bit type characters. Whatever this game is, you must have a lot of ability to like create stuff because there's a lot of very specific to this song artwork in this video. I don't really know what it is. I'm not into nerdy stuff. I totally am. Don't give me a look like, are you really going to lie like that? So then last thing, I'll just share. Oh yeah, that's right. You'll like this. So this is
the mugs.
Yeah, this is the Bold Co Girl. The Bold CO Girl. Not all one word. This is her vlog number 10, behind the scenes, women's Christmas tea. So her theme song, I know you're going to love, because it's a bunch of coffee mugs, one at a time, on a tight little like product set, and it kind of like keeps editing, and it shows all her different mugs, and the coffee keeps pouring in each one. I don't know. I didn't describe that correctly. Yeah. So she gets to show off all her mugs. We could do that. We have an enormous mugs collection. So this lady gives like a vlog about, she's like her business and stuff. I don't know. At first I was like, she's just kind of talking in generalities about her business. And I'm like, there's not much here because she's just kind of talking about what's up with her. Like, whatever. But then she goes on to her church in the second half of the video and shows all these amazing decorations that they did for like a women's tea.
Oh, wow.
Like they're going to have like all the women over to the church to drink Christmas tea.
Yeah.
And they made a little nook with books for the children.
One of those ones.
They decorated the table settings amazingly. Like it's so beautiful. Mm-hmm. It looks so out of a magazine. And the song is still playing underneath all of this. And it's like one of those really nice, like kind of new church buildings. Mm-hmm. The side has like a little forest of trees. They've got trees all over every wall. They've got so many Christmas trees with like fake Christmas decorations.
It's really nice.
What I assume are fake Christmas decorations. They've got like one stone wall with a cross on it and like regular walls everywhere else. So we're almost there. Christmas is almost upon us, folks. I'm exhausted from all the Christmas shopping, all of the bogs of holly.
How many Christmas gifts did you get for me this year?
I got you 5.
Oh my god.
3 days ago, I got you 0. Jessica had all these Christmas gifts under the tree, and they're all coming in like in the next few days. But literally, I've bought you things that are like, this is my Christmas gift, like getting you your braces.
Right.
And something, your bass guitar, all of these little things that were like, these are your early Christmas gifts. And so once Christmas came around...
That was my Valentine's Day present.
Oh, you're right. Well, what is Christmas but Valentine's Day to Jesus? Like we say, thank you, Lord. You are our Valentine on this Christmas morn. So, Jessica.
Yes.
Do you like Santa Claus is summoned to town more, the same, or more, or less than you liked it before we did this episode?
I think about the same.
I think I like it a little bit more. So finally, we're on different pages when it comes to that. Because for the last couple of weeks, we kept picking the same one. Is this the end of our relationship?
Oh, no. Stick around and find out next week on Sadie Hawkins' Pod.
We just wasted
75
minutes of your life. Ho, ho, ho.